afternoon. It's Aloha Friday and we're all done for the day. It's 4:17. We got kind of shanghaied about an hour ago. Oh, Max, grab 110 and take it down and get it safety checked. So we got that done, but no driving footage today. You get the talking head, I guess. And we're going to try to finish up the paperwork. We're working this weekend. We got the big box over the weekend. 4 container loads going out, 4 coming back in. That's really easy. Anyway, I notice I get certain questions, you know, every few months. New subscribers or new viewers, and so I'm just going to try to answer probably 3 of the most popular questions. I get them over and over and over and over again. The first question, of course, is, are they hiring in Hawaii? If you're a truck driver, if you're a real truck driver, if you're a good truck driver, they are always hiring. I don't care what state you're in. Nobody wants a lazy truck driver, but if you're a working truck driver and you like to move freight, if you like to move it. Yeah, there's not a company on the island that's not hiring or looking for drivers. So finding work in Hawaii, not that hard. For tractor trailer work, starting pay somewhere around 27 bucks an hour. For regular trucks, it's probably like 20, 21, somewhere around there. You know, and I have a lot of people say, well, the guys who've been there forever don't seem like they're making that much more than the guys that just started. In fact, if you're a union shop, the guys that just started usually make the same as the guys who've been there forever. And there's a reason for that, because even though the guy who's been here forever has been getting a raise year after year after year, that starting pay has been moving up right behind him the whole time. So he gets ahead maybe $3 or $4 an hour, but that's about as far as it gets. And then the new drivers are not making a whole lot less. And they usually can end up making more, something, because the new drivers are the ones that they're going to give all the hours to, because they're the lower paid. They give them more hours, and in the end, they end up with a bigger check. But are they hiring? Yes. How much do they pay? 27 if you're a tractor trailer driver. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on how good you are. The other question is, let me think about this first. Anyway, yeah. So number 1, are they hiring in Hawaii? Yes. Number 2, how much do they make? 27 bucks an hour, tractor trailer driver, starting pay. And are we personally hiring at this facility? Yes. We're always hiring. We're always looking for. We're just like everybody else in Hawaii. We're always. Now, can you make it on what they pay? That's hard to say. It all depends on the person. I did. I came to Hawaii in 1987, 27 years old, had $700 in my pocket and a girlfriend. Within a week I was working. Within a week after that I was driving tour buses. So I've been working since I moved to Hawaii. Now, in the years that I've been in Hawaii, I've bought 2 homes and have them both paid off. I bought 2 timeshares and got them both paid off. And I have close to $1 million in the bank. But I'm 62. I've been working at it hard most of my life. So I mean, I think it's easier now probably than it was then. Things are 10 times more expensive now. But work-wise, it seems like the money's everywhere. You just got to chase after it. Now, I did things that most people wouldn't do. So I can tell you what I did, but I don't think most people would do. And the 3 things I did. Number 1, I changed my lifestyle in the sense that I don't eat out. I make all my food. And it sounds a little crazy at times, but that's one of the huge lifestyle changes I made. I don't eat out. And Hawaiians eat out more than any other state in the nation per capita. We have more fast food per capita than any state in the nation. And there's a lot of theories as to what that is, but one of my theories is a lot of people in Hawaii, to get ahead or to stay afloat, are working 2 jobs. And when you're going from one job to the next, you don't have time to go home and make a meal. Okay, the second thing I did is I always had somebody helping me. For the last 25 years, it's been my wife. Before that, it was my other wife, and before that, it was a girlfriend. So I always had someone who had my back. So we had basically 2 incomes, not just one. And the third thing I did basically was I tried to outwork everyone at work. Show up earlier, stay late, and don't complain. Work on the weekends, work at night. You know, make the hours. I always strove for 56 hours a week. That was my goal. 56 hours a week. You know, if you can do it in 5, if you can do it in 7, that was my goal. 56 hours a week. So I wanted to outwork people. I wasn't going to eat out, and my wife helped me. And then when my wife and I got on board, the way I did it financially is we put 30% to housing, 30% to investment, and 30% to lifestyle. And that was just my income. We lived on my income. When I met my wife, she was actually making more than me, and within a year she's semi-retired and hasn't really worked since we got married. She works as a realtor, and she sells a few homes a year. So not a huge amount of income, but what she does do is she helps me work on the investments of that 30% that we put away. And that's kind of how I got ahead in Hawaii, and most asked questions I get. It's I think a great place to live. It's a little diverse for some. The weather's constantly changing, but it's always nice. But I gotta go turn in my paperwork. So yeah, I'm not saying I did anything special. I mean, probably the biggest mistake I made when I moved to Hawaii is that I kept comparing Hawaii to other places I'd been. You know, I grew up in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And it's a lot like Hawaii, but it's not Hawaii. And then I was living in New York for 7 years before I moved here. And that's a lot like Hawaii in some ways, but it's not Hawaii. It's I wouldn't compare it. The other mistake I made is I had the opportunity to work super hard when I got here as a tour bus driver, and I decided not to. I wanted to do what everybody else was doing. I basically goofed off the first 10 years I was here in Hawaii. And as a result, I went nowhere. I didn't get ahead. Nothing really happened. I was always frustrated, both money-wise, and just never felt satisfied. And when I was working 100 hours, that's too much. You know, that's why I say 56 hours. To me, that's a good balance, because that's 8 times 7. So that's how I come up with that number. 8 hours a day. Gives you 8 hours of play, 8 hours of sleep. And that's been my mantra. And when I met my wife, you know, she has a better mind than mine when it comes to numbers. And so we started running the numbers as far as investing 30% of our income. My income, all of her income got invested. Everything went into, and we invested in 3 things. We invested in real estate, both the house we bought and our rental house and our timeshares. And we invested in the stock market. And then we also did probably 10 business type loans to friends and people that knew that we were looking to invest in people's businesses. So we invested in a trucking company, we invested in a bakery, we invested in a real estate company, photo lab. So we had all this money that I had saved that we were investing. And I guess what opened my eyes is I went to a seminar and they laid out the number one thing you need to do when you invest is to take 10% of your income and set it aside for when you're my age, 62. And so if I had learned that early, and the way they showed it was they took 8 cups and they said, let's say these 8 cups represent your income. Now the government's going to take 2 of your cups at the end of the week. So you get 8 cups, no, you have 10 cups. Government's going to take 2 cups. You end up with 8 cups. But if you decide to take 10%, 1 of your cups, and set it aside until you're 62, the government then only takes 1 cup. And that was like an eye-opener to me. And I don't know if you got that. If you have 10 cups representing your income, the government's going to take 2 cups. But if you decide to take 1 cup and set it aside until you're 62, the government only takes 1 cup. That's like a 10% of your income throughout your life that you get to have when you're 62. That if you don't do that, the government's just going to take it from you anyway. And that's when that was my most eye-opening entrance to investing. Anyway, let's go home. There we go, some road footage. Stuck in traffic, 5 o'clock on a Friday, trying to get home before the sun sets. I think we're gonna make it. Yeah, so my opinion, I guess, for what it's worth, is if you're 27 years old the way I was way back then, got a couple dollars in your pocket, you have a friend that you can either move to Hawaii with or have a friend who lives in Hawaii. The hardest part of living in Hawaii is housing. And so that's the part you need to lock down. You don't need to lock down a job. That you're going to find no problem. It's the housing that you got to get on top of, you know. And I guess, you know, if you're hardcore, you could come and stay in a hostel or stay in somebody's Airbnb or something. But yeah, that would be my recommendation, is get the housing situated, bring a friend or have a friend who you can share the financial load with, and then change your lifestyle where you're not, you know, paying to eat everywhere you go. Because that's, like I said, that's the mistake I made. The first 10 years I lived in Hawaii, I ate out morning, noon, and night, and went to the clubs, went to the movies, you know. And so the idea of saving 30% of my income back then was I couldn't save 10% of my income. But it really amazed me when I started saving 30% of my income and started saving 100% of my wife's income. And you look for ways to invest that money. It's interesting how fast you get smart. You know, you don't need to know anything. You just need to be able to read. People tell me, "Oh, I don't know how to cook." I go, "Yeah, well, do you know how to read?" "Yeah, it's called a recipe. Just read the recipe and follow the directions and do it over and over and over and over and over. And I promise you'll get good at it." The same is true with any financial plan. It's called a financial plan. You just gotta find one that makes sense to you and go after it. And believe me, you'll make mistakes. I made tons of mistakes. I lost hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, but I'm still ahead of the game. And you just got to keep at it. Don't be afraid to mess up or make a mistake. And so yeah, I highly recommend it. Right now it's tough to live in Hawaii because more people are leaving Hawaii than moving to Hawaii. In the last 5 years, over 10,000 people a year have left Hawaii. So a lot of that has to do with, you know, politics, I think. It's just they spend money on a railroad, but they don't spend money on fixing the potholes, you know, that kind of stuff. People get fed up. But yeah, it takes me about an hour if I come home at this time of day on a Friday from work to home. The normal drive is 15-20 minutes. All these people live in Hawaii and are making it happen. Some happier than others. Anyway, that's about it for today. We came in at 6 today. We did 9 movements, and we drove 92 miles. It's a typical day, and we got one flatbed truck safety checked. But that's about it for this Friday. Thanks for watching today. When we're going home, we're going to make dinner. I got the same thing I wanted to make last night because I went home. One of the meals that I make quite often, and this is a meal that I make when I go home and I'm going to cook, and then I just get tired and I don't feel like it. I either have a bowl of cereal, which is not too often, or I make like a soft taco. So it's a flour tortilla, cheese, some kind of meat, salad, you know, taco sauce. And I'll make a couple of those. That's my go-to when I'm lazy, and that's what happened last night, is I made a couple of tacos. Because my wife had went to Subway and had a Subway sandwich. So she was having that for dinner. So tonight I'm going to make that potato with onions and peppers with egg and cheese and tomatoes, whatever you call that, frittata. I need to look it up. That's what's for dinner again. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Aloha.